Good evening, whoa, we're good, and we're on. We're in the process of trying to bring more chairs in, but we do want to get started. So everybody find a place, and we're gonna try and get more chairs. But we do want to quickly, as soon as possible, get into conversation and start to hear from all of you that are here today. So we do want to go ahead and get started. First, I want to introduce myself. My name is Adam Anderson. I'm the Officer of Planning and Strategy, and I'm here to welcome all of you on behalf of CEO Bird Bennett. I'm going to give a quick opening and then move into as much public comment and hear from as many of you tonight as possible. The purpose of tonight's meeting, as CEO Bird Bennett has described, is to continue a conversation that we've been having with our communities. We want to hear from schools, we want to hear from parents, from students, from teachers, from other community organizations as we go through this process of thinking about addressing some of the challenges that we have in our district. And so tonight is a continuation of that conversation. Is not by any means the last conversation. In fact, we will be back in this location on February 21st to continue and talk a little more about what we will hear from you tonight and keep talking. So February 21st, we'll all be back. I'll talk a little bit more about tonight and how tonight's going to go. But before we get into that, I do want to introduce a few people that are in attendance. First, I want to make sure to acknowledge the network leadership, those that are helping work with all the communities, principals, teachers, students in the schools in the Pershing network. Victor Simon, Chief of Schools for the Pershing Elementary School Network. Julio Contreras, Deputy Chief, Pershing. Back over here, Liz Kirby, Southwest High School Network Chief. I want to thank them for being here. They, of course, are here to hear from all of you, as is myself and a number of other CPS leaders that are in attendance tonight. I do want to acknowledge that everything that's said tonight, we do have Dennis Hartnett, court reporter, capturing every word that's spoken by anybody tonight. When we do get to breakout sessions for those that choose to participate, there are note takers capturing every comment that's being said. These are being presented to CEO Bird Bennett, so she will read and review everything that's said tonight, so we are capturing everything that's being said. I do want to acknowledge Alderman Pat Dowell of the 3rd Ward, who has joined us tonight. So I want to thank the Alderman for being here as well. Talk a little bit about how tonight is going to go and what the purpose is, and again want to most importantly thank everybody for being here. We have been going through a series of meetings. I believe we've had 7 so far. We're going to have 2 in each network, and these conversations with all of you are extremely valuable for us as we learn more and more about your schools and communities. There are a number of things that we have already heard from other conversations with other individuals in this community in working with the network offices up to this point in time. So for example, I know there are a couple schools such as Armour and McClellan where we're continuing to review the utilization. We've heard things about safety concerns from Libby around 55th Street, but conversations like tonight give us an opportunity to hear more specifics about those concerns directly from teachers, parents, students, and as well as hear other concerns that are going to come up tonight. So these are very important for us. The way that we are going to manage these meetings is first, because we do want to hear directly from the schools. In a moment, we'll turn it over to John Scott, who will facilitate. And we're going to start and allow each school to come up and have 2 speakers to talk about their school. Once we get through and hear from schools first, then we will open up to the rest of the speakers list to allow others in the community to share their thoughts as well. So we do want to make sure we hear from everybody, but we want to start with hearing from our school communities first. I do want to say that at a point in time, around 7:45, for those that choose, we will invite individuals who would like to go to a smaller group conversation to hear a little bit more from us about the process and about the challenge we face as a district, and from the network office to hear a little bit more about the schools. A very short presentation, and then a smaller group conversation. That is only for those that choose to participate. We do encourage, if you have a large group here, to maybe send some individuals to those breakout sessions. But of course, if you choose to stay in here and are signed up to speak, we do want to hear from every school. And if you would prefer to stay in this room and hear from other people in this room, that's clearly an option as well. So know that around 7:45 or so, we will extend that invitation to those in attendance. But we will be here until 9 o'clock, and many of us after, if anybody wants to come up and ask us questions or talk, but we will be having public comment in this room throughout that time. Other than that, do want to reiterate the thanks for coming, and that we are gathering all the information that is said tonight. With that, I have spoken long enough. I'm going to give Victor Simon a chance just to welcome everybody as well before we quickly move on to public open comment. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Adam. Listen, I don't want to spend a lot of time talking. I just want to say thank you to the principals that are here, the teachers that are here, parents, students. I know it's a real busy night, homework, all kinds of other things that are happening, but I really appreciate everybody coming out. We packed the place. That's a really great sign. It shows a lot of progress in our community, so I just want to say thank you for that. The process tonight is not meant in any way to limit speakers. It's really meant to capture as many school comments as we can publicly. So if we can limit it to 1 or 2 speakers, the first round, I think that would be appreciated by all the schools. As you can see, it begins with Air Force High School and it ends with Ward. They're in very different communities and that kind of thing, but they have different concerns, and I want to make sure they have the chance to speak publicly. We also encourage you to go to the breakout sessions. If it feels rude, that is not at all the intent. We are just going to simply remind you at about 7:45 that we have the option for a breakout. You're more than welcome to stay here and participate in public commentary. So our team, you see a little bit of green underneath here, this is sort of the Pershing color on the map. We have members around the building. Reach out to any of them. That information will get back to me directly. Adam, I appreciate the fact that a handful of schools are already called out, but there's over 40 on that list. And I just want to get into this, the stand of hearing from every school. So with that, we'll just kick it off. But really, I thank everybody for coming out. Signs look great. I see a lot of work that went into this, and I really appreciate your effort.
Good evening, everyone. I'm John Scott. I'm your moderator tonight. We want to get through this, and we want to give everybody an opportunity to speak. You will have 2 minutes to speak. There will be signs in front of you giving you a warning sign when you're at 1 minute. Then after that 1 minute is over with, then it'll be a sign saying stop. The reason why, we want to give everybody an opportunity to speak. But before we start tonight, we want to give the Alderman of the 3rd Ward, Pat Dowell, an opportunity to address you all. Give the Alderman a round of applause. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am so glad to see this room packed. This is really what civic engagement is about. This is my second meeting this week. That meeting was also packed. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking today. I've already told CPS my concerns about how they are engaging in this process with the community. I want my constituents to know, and the representatives of Parkman, Dewey, and Hendricks, which are the schools that I represent, that I am following this process very, very closely. I am in it to win it. And I just want to encourage you all to be involved in the process, no matter where you're from, Bridgeport, Inglewood, wherever. This is an important issue when you talk about the consolidation and closing of schools. This is very near and dear to our hearts because we're dealing with our children. So thank you all for coming, and I will turn it over back to Mr. Scott.
Thank you, Alderman. Okay, we're going to call up, as the Chief of Schools mentioned, we're going to call up the schools, and we need the people to line up in this aisle right here, okay? So I'm going to call up 2 schools at a time. I need them to line up here, then we're going to move to the podium to speak. The lady over here will be holding up the signs to give you your time, okay? Remember, it's a 2-minute time frame on this. I want to call out members from Air Force High School and Armor. If they could get up and they can start lining up here. Step over here, sir. Remember to say your name and the school that you represent. Yes.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Rafael Rinconino Jr., and I teach at Armor School. Been there for 7 years. I'm also running a chess club. I am the coach for soccer, teach other after-school programs with After School All-Stars and Orion's Mind. So I mentioned that because everyone at Armor, not only me, we all pretty much live at Armor. Not only do we teach, we do extracurricular activities after school. Let me start by saying then that my hope is that no school closes because we know By the way, the 2 minutes is minus the clapping, correct?
2 minutes, keep talking.
So we know that if any one of our schools closes, it's going to affect the whole community. That's the last thing that we need. The major concern that I have is that we have this utilization report, and I think Victor brought it up. At least for Armor, I'm not sure for any other schools. It says that we are at 54 utilization rate. That is not accurate. You are stating that we have a total number of classrooms. We have 29. We don't. We have 22. So what's not in this report is that we have had an ADA compliance elevator project. They added 2 elevators. Because of that, 5 classrooms are no longer classrooms and we can't use them. Also, Target added 2 libraries, and so we lost 2 classrooms because of that, and we have a librarian. In terms of computer. So my major concern then is I would hope that this report is looked at soon and that we have a new report that is accurate so that we could be evaluated fairly. Thank you.
Sir.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Reverend Tom Gulke. I'm pastor at First Lutheran Church of the Trinity in Bridgeport. I'm a leader with the group called Soul Southsiders, Organizing for Unity and Liberation, as well as the chair for a group called Bridgeport Alliance. I'm here today to announce that Bridgeport Alliance will be fighting for all of our neighborhood schools. And I'd like to ask everyone who's here today to fight for our neighborhood schools to please stand up. CPS, we will not let you close any of our neighborhood schools without a fight.
One minute left.
We're not here to beg from you. Rather, we're here to tell you that you won't close down any of our schools without a fight. You won't close Armor, you won't close Graham, you won't close McClellan, you won't close any of our schools. Whose schools? Whose schools? Whose money? whose children,
30 seconds left, please.
and frankly, sisters and brothers, we're not interested in venting our feelings to facilitators, folks who are funded by the Walmart Family Foundation. We want to meet directly with Barbara Bird Bennett.
Please
We
wrap
want
it
to
up.
speak
Time up.
directly to real decision makers so that we know our tax-paying voices are actually heard, that our voice counts,
Could
that
you
our
please
voice
wrap
matters.
it up, sir?
Just last year, the Illinois State
Others need
Legislature
to speak, sir,
gave
please.
Sears, the Illinois State Legislature gave Sears, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, tax breaks worth nearly $300 million. At the same time, they cut $200 million from education. And now Walmart has the audacity to tell us that we can't afford to keep our neighborhood schools open. We don't need more cuts. We need more sources of revenue. We must invest in our schools. Save our schools.
Next speaker. Next speaker. Okay, we want to give everybody the respect so each speaker can get their opportunity to speak also. You may start.
Hi.
You can start now.
I'm a parent at Armour School. My name is Guadalupe Perez. I'm a graduate from that school.
Excuse me. You can start now, ma'am. Start her minutes now. Start it now. Start over. 2 minutes. Let's go, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. I'm a parent at Armour School. My name is Guadalupe Perez. I graduated from that school. Armour has done a lot for our students. We have all these after-school programs. It's close by to our houses where our kids could walk from and to school. They keep our kids busy. They're there from 7:45 to 4:45 or 5:15. For parents that are working, it is a good that we have all these after-school programs for them to keep. They're there to keep busy instead of out in the streets with the game bangers, and we have no problem. That school has changed so much from when I went there. We have great teachers. They are willing to volunteer their time and work for our kids. I cannot thank the teachers enough for everything they do for our students. Our students are confident. They're able to go to their teachers when they have a problem, and they feel safe around there. So please keep our schools open. We need them, and it's don't take that away from our students.
We're calling up. We're calling up. We're calling up Brighton Park, Burroughs, Brighton Park, and Burroughs, Chavez, Columbia Explorers, Daly, Davis, Dewey,
Hello, how you doing? My name is Matthew Johnson. I'm here representing Dewey School and all the schools in the Pershing Network. And I'm here to tell the board, we're not here to beg or plead, and we're here to fight to save our schools. I encourage all the local school council chairs, members to get involved in this process. As LSC chair, you have a right to call special call meetings, sit-ins. Those meetings can turn to sit-ins. We have to come out the same way we are right now, because if you don't, they're not going to respect you. Our schools did not just become low-performing schools overnight. And according to the Illinois School Code, Article 34, 8.3, where it clearly states, as soon as a school is put on probation, the CEO or his designee, whether it's Barbara Bennett or whoever it is supposed to help these schools prepare their school improvement plan, which is the CIWP. The schools in our neighborhood, Parkman, Fuller, Hendricks, none of that has been happening. And then you come here overnight and say you're going to close these schools. A message to Barbara Bennett, working at the Cook County Juvenile Detention Center for 10 years. Gangs didn't start in high school. Gangs are not starting, they didn't go to high school, grab guns. Our young babies are victims of gangs in these communities. You all are not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And we're here to fight, and we're going to fight. I promise you we're going to fight. Point blank.
Remember to say your name and the school you're from.
My name is Rhonda Russell Henderson. I'm from Dewey. I'm the assistant principal. This has been my 3rd year as assistant principal at Dewey, and I want to say that I take pride in going to work each and every day. I cannot imagine Dewey not being there. I know each student by name. I know parents' faces. I know parents' situations, and I reach out and help every single day. So I take pride in knowing that I can go to work and I can make a difference and I can change somebody's life. I think Dewey does great things. We have iPads for our middle school students and special ed students. We provide counseling service for our kids. We do so much to go beyond and above what it takes to just run a school, besides paper and pencil and books and all of those things. So I really am here to fight, not just for myself, but for my kids, because they don't have a voice. They don't understand what's happening. All they know is in August they might go someplace else. And I can say one thing, in my 3 years, my kids look for me every day at that door to greet them in the morning. And if that's not going to happen, I don't know what will happen to them. So I'm here to fight for my kids and their education and continue to make sure that they get what they need. And hopefully that I'm there to provide that to them.
Good evening. My name is Eric Dockery. I am the proud principal of Dewey Elementary Academy of Fine Arts. It's funny, in coming up here right now, I was just speaking to our alderman, and she said, well, you guys aren't underutilized, and we're not. Every room that we have is fully utilized. We use each and every room for the benefit and the education of our children. Every room is not a classroom. Some of our rooms we have converted to a digital media center. We have converted to a mini lab. We have converted to another computer lab. For 21st century learning, we have converted many of our rooms to support the education of our children. We are Dewey Elementary Academy of Fine Arts. So, of course, if art is going to be important to us, as it is to the district, we have to have our art room, we have to have our music room, we have to have rooms for just pull-out. So we are not underutilized. And isn't it something to be said for the small school? For the small school that knows each and every student, that can support each and every student? The small neighborhood school, where students should not have to, and elementary, believe it or not, elementary students have to cross gang lines too. So if the same situation occurs for high school students, elementary students face the same challenges. They should not have to walk 10 blocks to go to a school. Okay, So to wrap up, we stand here with all of you in support of the neighborhood school, the small neighborhood school that provides for our children. Thank you.
Okay, Everett School and Evergreen. Everett and Evergreen.
Hi. Thanks for coming out, everyone. I represent Evergreen Academy and the Pershing Network, and we're a neighborhood school. And I just want to say that I think thanks to guys like Victor over here that come out and help us, and what Chicago Public Schools does really have to offer, the neighborhood school, we should be putting our resources to be funding for every school to become a 90-90-90 school, and not, you know, to try to play these games on trying to figure out which schools are better and have people competing and crossing under things and jeopardizing safety and putting everyone at risk. And we should be here together to be celebrating schools, and instead our first community and some of my first times meeting any of you is here at this very negative type of meeting. And I appreciate you giving us a chance to voice our opinion. I know that's not the intent of what you're trying to do, but again, as a tax-paying citizen, it's very hard to understand how we can talk about utilization formulas and talk about closing neighborhood schools while we're opening charter schools left and right. I pay taxes, I'm a parent, and I don't understand it. And I just want some honesty on what the long-term goals are, because I teach at a great school. I love the people around me, and I think every other school around me can do that in the Pershing Network / all of Chicago Public Schools. So Evergreen Academy is on all of our sides. Thank you.
Fulton, Graham, and Green. Come on up. Remember to say your name and the school you represent. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Shayna Cass. I'm a first grade teacher at Fulton Elementary School. 5 years ago, Fulton was turned around, and we were turned around for a reason. And we have all, teachers, parents, staff members, been hired to do a job that we're not done doing yet. So I say that to say that we have reduced our misconducts by 50% in the last 5 years. We are the only predominantly African American school in our area to move from a level 3 to a level 2. We were second in the network in our MAP scores in growth last year. So please just let us continue what we're doing, because what we're doing is working.
I am Michelle Ingham Holman. I am the parent of a CPS student, and I am a teacher at Robert Fulton Elementary School. Our history will help prepare us to accept other students. One solution that they're looking for solutions, one solution that we have is to consolidate with some of our overcrowded or overutilized schools to the north. Chavez is 195% overutilized. DLE, Seward, Hedges, Christopher, Nightingale is 123. We are prepared to take on those students for the overcrowded schools. You can refer to the slide as well. When we started, we were 18% Hispanic. Now we are 40% Hispanic. We have a high foreclosure rate, but we are making a comeback in our population. We are ready to absorb any low-performing school, level 3, in our area. Henderson to the south, just for an example. Because we are a turnaround, we have experience as a staff. We are prepared to take on any students from the neighborhood. Our attendance is higher than any of our surrounding schools. We have strategies that other schools have not been able to utilize.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Guadalupe Lerma y soy un padre de la escuela de Robert Fulton. Yo estoy aquí para hablar acerca de mi escuela. Mi escuela es un lugar seguro que ofrece a los niños incentivos, ofrece también actividades para nuestros niños en la escuela. Hemos visto dónde estaba la escuela Robert Fulton hace poco en el turnaround. Ahora nosotros estamos progresando, tenemos un progreso muy grande. ¿Por qué? Porque subimos de un nivel 3, como dijo la maestra, a un nivel 2. Estamos en un nivel 2 ahora. Nuestros estudiantes tienen éxito aquí y nuestros maestros cuidan de nuestros hijos. Nosotros ya conocemos a nuestros maestros. Es un peligro para nuestros hijos que nos quieran cambiar a otra escuela y tengamos que cruzar una calle grande donde la mayoría son pandilleros. Entonces, para nosotros es más seguro que nuestros hijos estén enfrente de nuestra escuela porque es cerca de nuestro vecindario. Somos la única escuela alrededor de nuestro vecindario que estamos en nivel 2, la única escuela que estamos en nivel 2 en ese lugar. Por último, yo les quiero pedir una oportunidad para esta escuela y que nos den la oportunidad. Chávez está sobrepoblado. Pueden mandar a esos hijos de sobrepoblación a nuestra escuela. Nuestra escuela les da la bienvenida a esos niños. Gracias.
Hello, I'm Brandy Whitfield Lewis, and this is Kanice Stroud. We're one of the teachers at Fulton Elementary. We would like to state that our school moved from a level 3 to a level 2 in 2 years, which is hourly unheard of. In addition to that, since we've been there, we've moved from 33% to 43% in reading, 45% to 70% in math, which is at the 88th percentile. We're also from 28% to 52% in science, and our attendance rate is above the average of CPS, which is 95% or higher.
We are outpacing CPS and the network for college readiness benchmarks in English and in math. We are closing the achievement gap, which is what we're asked to do by CPS. We have seen growth at this school, just like Brandy said. So if we're making this progress, we should be allowed to keep making this progress and keep making our students successful.
Good evening, I am Wendy Waddy, a teacher at Fulton. We talk about culture. Our family culture in the school is strong. We have developed our culture as part of our academic AYP, and our culture is something that our families depend on the teachers and the staff at Fulton. We have art, we have music, we have technology. We need all of our classrooms to pull small groups. We talk about individualized teaching. We are doing it. In 2 years, you just heard an uprise. Well, in 2 years, our community has gone on the downrise, but our school has been strong in our surveys of strong schools. We are a top school in our area. We beat the charter school in attendance. We beat every school in our area for it. So that means they want to come to school because they're getting something to get that dream of going to college. We got college-bound students, and our record shows that we are doing what you have asked us to do, and that's to teach, and to teach.
Okay, Graham. And Cal Becker, could you come up also? Are you from Graham?
Please, only 2 speakers per school, please.
Remember, there's 2 minutes. We want to give everybody ample opportunity to speak. So 2 minutes. When you see the warning, give them an opportunity to speak.
Wow, that's hard to follow. Those are some really powerful speakers there. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Adam Campbell. I graduated from Alexander Graham School in 1966. Thank you. Most of you weren't there. My son graduated in 2005. I've been an LSC member since 2000. I've hired 2 principals at this school, and we have an absolutely excellent school. And I can't be prouder of the students, the principal, the staff, the teachers, and the parents. We're one of the few schools on the south side that is truly racially diverse. We have about 26% white students. I think it's 40% Latino, and the balance is African American. And we're a safe haven of acceptance and tolerance at this school. Since 2005, our ISAT composite has risen from 32% to 72%, and it's double what it was 7 years ago. We have 2 full classrooms at every grade level. In the last 4 years, our 8th grade students, half of them have enrolled in an algebra program taught by a certified algebra teacher, and these students can test out of high school as a freshman from algebra. We have an award-winning music program, orchestra and choir, and we've had that for quite a while. I think at least in the entire time I've been an LSC member. We have partnered with the Beverly Arts Center. Last year, we partnered with 20 outreach programs through the Community and Schools program. Graham School houses 3 computer labs. For some students, we're their only means for technology. Sure. We have a bilingual program. We have an after-school All-Stars program available for our 4th through 8th grade students. And we have several homeless students. We don't want to take their school away from them. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Hello, good evening. My name is Lori Moore, and I'm speaking on behalf of Graham School. In addition to what Mr. Campbell said, Graham School opened its doors to students who were displaced when Abbott School closed in 2009. This year, our enrollment increased by 20 students, which allowed us to receive 2 additional teacher positions after the 20th day. Our current student projection for next year is the same. Our projection is not decreasing, it is constant. Up until 2006, we were at over 80% capacity until they removed us as a voluntary transfer school and took away our busing. The purpose of this program was to racially integrate the school and the community. To this day, as Mr. Campbell mentioned, we are a racially diverse school. When the primary building was built, a major portion of the building was dedicated to house a district field office. During the teacher strike, Graham School was deemed a children's first site due to our central location and easy public transportation access from all directions. We have been a central summer school site for many years, as well as a Keep Kids Learning site for summer school, including a receiving school for other surrounding area schools. Also during that time, we served the community as a safe place for residents in need who needed to be fed on a daily basis. Graham School has strong ties within the community. Many staff members live or once lived in the community, including our current principal and our former principal. We support the local church, which has a food pantry for the residents in need by having food and clothing drives. Our students are proud to be able to help within their community. For these reasons and many, many more that I don't have time to discuss, please consider Graham School and remove it from your closing list. Thank you.
Calmeca.
Hello, my name is Jose Hernandez. I'm a member of the local school council at Calmeca Academy. Calmeca Academy is located at 38 in St. Louis. It's on the west side of the network. It's a 2-year school, two-year-old school. We're only on our 3rd year. We're beginning our third year. So if you look at the utilization on this chart that we were provided, I'm not here because of that, because we're okay on that. We're at 104. But the thing is, if you move over to a column where they rate the schools, our school, for whatever reason, our school was rated as a level 3, even though our school is above the national averages. Even though we took students from all over the neighborhood and we brought them up, not me, but the teachers, excellent teachers that we have at our school, but they did a wonderful job together with our principal. At the same time that the school opened, another school opened in the same area. They opened during the same year, and they opened during the same month. If you look on CPS's website, that school has only a square, a blank square. They don't have a rating. What is the difference between the two? That's what it is. And I don't think it's fair. I think that Calmeca Academy should be removed from this list, because the only difference between us and them is the type of school. So please remove our school. Our school doesn't belong there. Thank you.
Green and Gonzalez. Green and Gonzalez. Haynes. Hamlin. Healy. Hedges. Hendricks.
Hello, I am a parent of Hendricks Community Academy. I am also on the LSC and the PAC. I graduated from Hendricks in 1988. I'm speaking for all the former parents, students, and everyone in the community. This year, Hendricks will be celebrating their 60-year anniversary. It saddens me that such a fine school may be on the closing list. What are the parents and students to do? Be placed on the waiting list for the charter schools and hope and pray that they get in? Or get out of their comfort zone and have to adapt, and their parents worry about the safety of them getting to and from school? I'm just asking that you keep Hendricks open, and that's it. Just hope that you guys consider Hendricks.
Hi, my name is Stephen Wells. I'm a 6th grader and I will be representing Hendricks Academy. I've been going to Hendricks since pre-K, and I feel like every day I learn something new from my amazing teachers, like Mr. Drink, Miss Evans, Miss Narcisse, Mr. Wagner, Mr. Cork, and Miss Ryman, and Mrs. Zaros.
Good evening, I'll be right to the point. My name is Khalid Muhammad. I have a son enrolled in Hendricks. The principal is here, the vice principal may be in the crowd. The key is, what do we think we're doing? Why isn't the negotiation between parents who has allocated, if you fix income, $13,078 a year? If you add up the numbers, the math don't add up with the closing. The key concern is this. I asked my youngest son, he's 6, he attended school, would you want to be a drug dealer one day? He said, Pop, what is that? I said, if you were to go to pharmaceutical school, apply for a job at Walgreens, you could become a drug dealer. That's a legal drug dealer. Walgreens is in the community prospering. Why can't a school prosper to raise a young man to choose other than football and basketball? And the key I have to make to utilize the time correctly, I have a gang pamphlet with me right now. Gangs is not the problem. They're organizations. Drugs illegally is not the problem. The problem is CEO Barbara Bennett, President Barack Obama, our illustrious president, his wife is trying to help out. We need to bring them to the table. They go to the table for everything else. They go to the table for the Super Bowl, etc. Let's bring them to the table. So we don't need to cry, oh, please don't close the school. We ain't beggars, we are builders. And I be God dog, and my father died in my arms, that I'm gonna sit here and start crying like a boy, saying, Pop, what happened? That don't make sense. So my cry go out for all you in this community. I'm 51 now. I just left the LAC meeting because I have a son in the Skyway Network. My prayer go out for him also, and my prayer go out for the alderman. I've been trying to work with her, and I'll continue to. Let's get stronger, family, and let's not get weak tonight, and let's not act a fool. Let's send a message to CPS, and they will work with you, but work with them also. Thank you, and God bless you.
Okay, we want to make the announcement at 7:50, and we do have the breakouts. We are going to stay here and listen to everyone, but if you want to get the information, they're meeting in the East Gym, and you can leave now because there is a presentation going on the schools on utilization in the East Gym. Okay, just follow him. Okay, we're calling them Holden, Kelly High School, and Lara. Holden, Kelly High School, and Lara. Libby. Come on up. Remember, say your name and the school you represent.
By the way, did anybody leave their glasses up here? No one that who spoke before? Okay, they're up here, so lost them.
Good evening. My name is Mrs. Rashonda Booker. I've been a teacher at Libby for 9 years. I will not stand up here and speak about our children as if they're data and numbers, because they're not. On the heels of people saying, well, our school was turned around, we didn't need CPS to turn us around, we turned ourselves around. I want to also say, to close our school would be depriving our children of an amazing autism program and SWD program. To close our school would be depriving our elementary school students of ballroom dancing, something no one ever thought they would see children from Inglewood do. To close our school, you would be depriving our kids of going snowboarding like Shaun White. Okay, we're making our own history. These are the things that we have in our community. We're not just here for our students, we're here for our community. We have a YMCA in our school that provides services to our children. You want to talk about 21st century learning? We're doing it. Mac Lab, iPads, laptop lab. We're doing all of that like you asked us to do. Look at the data. Take mobility out of it. Look at students that have been with us from the time of preschool to 8th grade. They are constantly growing. We don't want to talk about training kids. We want to educate kids. Okay? So when you talk about doing all of these things, think of what you're doing to the community. We have the first ever GED program for parents in our school that Mayor Rahm Emanuel came to see and was smiling when he left. So we are doing what we're supposed to do. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Eddie Farrell. I'm a parent, also the LSC chairperson for Libby. You know, I have 2 children in Libby, and I watch them every day as I take them to school. I watch other parents dropping their children off. It's a safe environment. It's a family environment. We can tell that the staff care about our children, that they care about their learning. Now, we could talk about all the programs that the schools are providing, and I'm hearing other people talk about the programs their schools are providing. I think it comes down to, where do you want to put resources? Children are important. And to say we don't have the money to provide our children with the resources they need is unacceptable. To talk about moving children across boundaries, to have them cross gang lines, to have them uproot someplace they've been 6, 7, 8 years to go to another school, it doesn't make sense to me. You look at a lot of these schools that are level 2 and level 3. If you start combining them, what are you going to do? You're going to put more children in them, you're going to make them more crowded, you're going to provide less instruction. What they need is more instruction. So you want to count numbers, and I understand counting numbers, but sometimes we have to not count numbers. You know, Chicago has the highest homicide rate in the country, and there's a reason for that. And part of the reason for that could be because we count numbers and we don't think about people. Sometimes we have to think about people, you know, and our children are important. My children are important. I don't want my children to have to go somewhere else to go to school. I'm comfortable with what they're getting because I believe in it. I believe in the staff, and my children believe in it. And that's a big thing. That's really important. And one last thing. I encourage you, because you're looking at numbers, before you make your final decision, walk through some of these schools and take an actual look at them to see if they really are underutilized. Thank you.
Yes. Good evening. My name is Christopher Latin Sr. I'm a proud parent of the Libby School and Family Network. Okay? All right. I want to talk to you guys about boundaries and what would happen if a school housing over 540 kids was to be displaced and crossing other boundaries in other neighborhoods. Libby also has things in this school which other schools don't have, like they open from 6:30 to 6:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday. Not many schools have that. YMCA inside the school, after school networks, a brand new GED program for students and parents. Not many schools have that. And they provide this on their own without CPS funding. You know, computer labs and things like that that makes kids excel, because the 21st century kids, they need that to excel, okay? The boundaries I was talking about so many kids going to school is because I lost a son this year, January the 5th, Christopher Latin Jr. And Libby has an arts and drama program which he excelled in. Okay. And for other kids not to be afforded that, it would just break many parents in their hearts. Okay? So I want you guys to take a good look at Libby and think about that before you decide on closing Libby. Okay, thank you very much.
Libby, can we get our Libby roar? You know what that sounds like? That's not just a roar. That's the sound of a family. We're united at Libby. I have 2 children at Libby. I have 2 sons at Libby, 2 African-American sons at Libby. That doesn't sound like very much to many of you because you don't know what it's like in our neighborhoods. When my children step on the school grounds at Libby, they feel safe. They don't have to worry about the dangers and the shootings that go on outside in the neighborhoods. My sons, they are very proud students at Libby. They do so well. I have one son at Libby that performs in the arts program that another one of our parents mentioned, and he does well. When he came to Libby, that wasn't his outlook on life or school or anything. He belongs now to a family. He's not just going to school. He's not just going in and just sitting there and being counted as a number. He's a person. These people, these teachers, they come in and they care. They care about him. They care about all of the students. I myself, I'm inspired, and I've started to volunteer and help out at Libby to keep the family going. Can I get a Libby roar? Let's keep Libby open and keep our kids safe and keep our kids learning. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here in representation of a dual representation from Arthur A. Libby Grammar School, where I am a recipient of that. I graduated in 1988, and I still have family members that is a part of that school. But as well, I pastor a church. My name is Pastor Zebediah White. I pastor a church on 51st Street, and I'm here to represent also Parkman School, Dewey, and Hendricks. But listen, as I'm here to represent all schools and as a whole, because we need to save our schools. Number one, if we close our schools, we increase the juvenile capacity. If we close our schools, we increase the cemeteries. If we close our schools, we'll close the safe haven that has been provided, as the young lady just stated, about the school being a safe haven for our children. As I sat there and thought about growing up as a kid, my mother treated us as if we was in a relay race. From home, you went from home to school to the world. And so if we move the school out of the way, we make it harder for them to make it in the real world. And so I don't want us to close no school, leave no school behind, keep all schools open. God bless you.
McClellan. McClellan.
Good evening. My name is Yvette Gaston, and I serve on the local school council of our school, McClellan School. Where are my Bulldogs at? I'm not going to come in front of you and start quoting data on our school, because you have that data. And I feel strongly about all that we have been doing in our school. Our school was a receiving school. Another school had mentioned that when Abbott closed down, a school that CPS closed down, we received those children. Open arms, we embraced them. We also have a very strong special education department. When it comes to utilization of schools, I feel that your definition of utilization is wrong, okay? We had to, per your compliancy, have libraries, a tech room, and other rooms to meet compliancy. But yet now you are holding us accountable because we don't have kids in those classrooms. That's wrong, okay? I also want to tell you that you may say it's a utilization problem, but we all know here that you claim that it's a money problem. Let's be real, okay? CPS has to invest in our children. That should be your priority, okay? And when you define charter schools versus CPS schools, my question to you is, why do you fund charter schools? That money rightfully should be ours and not to the charter school. You want to close our buildings down, but yet you're building new buildings. Why? Okay? My school that I represent is one of the oldest schools in the district. You guys don't want to give us money? Fine. We held strong. What we did, we went and got partnerships. We now have a partnership with Joffrey Ballet. We teach discipline in our children in that. We also partner with the Chicago White Sox, okay, in reading, okay. In our special education department, we are now working on a sensory room, because we do believe that every child, no matter what circumstance, has a right to an education, okay? So let's be real, okay? Please don't look and account us for having 35 children in a classroom by the character of our school. Our character, okay, I'll wrap up. I'll leave you all with one last quote from Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education.